Many groundbreaking feats set him apart most distinctly as one of Nigeria's most admired and respected monarchs. His Royal Majesty, Oba Dr. Sikiru Adetona, CFR, JP, the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland, is the longest reigning monarch in the history of the Ijebu people, and indeed, the longest reigning first-class monarch in Nigeria, now in his 56th year on the throne, having been crowned as the 52nd Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland on April 2nd, 1960, in the historic year of Nigeria's independence. Although the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland, His Royal Majesty Oba Sikiru Adetona, CFR, is the primus inter pares and first citizen of the Ijebu nation, he has been an integral part of the nation's socio-political and economic development because of his abiding commitment, working in tandem with others with like minds to raise the status of Nigeria among the committee of recognizable nations in the world. The Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland commands the respect and adulation of the Ijebus, who are themselves considered as very advanced and industrious people, imbued with incredible entrepreneurial spirit, with many of them occupying the commanding heights in the social, economic, and political spheres of Nigeria. To advance the frontiers of education, which is a proven catalyst to the development of any society, and entrench good governance and leadership qualities in the citizenry, the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland, His Royal Highness Oba Dr. Sikiru Adetona, CFR, has endowed a professorial chair in governance in the Department of Political Science of Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ago-Iwoye, in Ogun State of Nigeria. There couldn't have been a better time than now to launch this laudable initiative, since most of the problems the country has been grappling with over the years are traceable to the glaring deficit in good governance in all fronts. Once they got the mandate as regards the terms of reference from the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland, Oba Dr. Sikiru Adetona, CFR, members of the organizing committee, made up of illustrious sons and daughters of Ijebuland, regarded as frontliners in their different areas of calling, led by legal luminaries like Honorable Justice Adeshola Oguntade, CFR, as chairman, Mr. Olatunji Ayonlaja, SAN, as alternate chairman, and members like advertising paysetter Mr. Biodun Shobanjo, with the traditional ruler of Ago-Iwoye, His Royal Majesty Oba Abdulrazak Adenugba, the Ebumawe of Ago-Iwoye, and other traditional rulers, and a select few as members. They hit the ground running to prepare for the formal launch of the project, which began with the inaugural lecture and launch of the endowment fund. The event, which took place on Thursday, 10th March 2016 at the Oriental Hotels, Victoria Island, Lagos, attracted a very huge bipartisan attendance of opinion leaders in the different aspects of life across the country, despite the field scarcity that held movement in Lagos by the jugular on that day. As usual, the traditional rulers from different parts of Ijebuland rallied a robust support for the Awujale. Ijebu sons and daughters from different walks of life also galvanized their friends in impressive numbers to the event. The Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, CON, was there to give his royal endorsement to the event. Governor Seriaki Dixon of Bayelsa State was also in attendance. Governor Ibikunle Amosun, CON, who is the visitor of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ago-Iwoye, was represented by his deputy, Chief Mrs. Yetunde Ononuga. Heavyweight dignitaries like former governors Olusegun Oshoba and Benga Daniel of Ogun State, Chief Chris Ogunbanjo, Otumba Shubomi Balogun, Dr. Oba Otudeko, CFR, Chief Razak Okoya, Kesintin Adebutu, and Chief Alex Dudiyemi graced the event with their esteemed presence. The opening remarks given by Mr. Olatunji Ayonlaja, SAN, who is the alternate chairman of the Board of Trustees, further elucidated on the reasons behind the strategic move for the endowment by the Awujale, of a professorial chair in governance in the Department of Political Science of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ago-Iwoye, Ogun State.
We, the members of the BOT and the organizing committee, in the propagation and sustenance of the laudable idea behind the endowment of the share, promise to manage the funds of the share only for the institutionalizing the share so as to be able to attract the best brains from any part of the world to occupy it.
Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ago-Iwoye, Ogun State, which ranks among the best universities in Nigeria, opened its doors for academic activities on the 31st of January 1983 for the realization of the teaching, research, and community service, producing broadly educated men and women in different disciplines of studies, now in the vanguard of new technological revolution in education. The Vice-Chancellor of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Professor Sikiru Adetona, who has been in the saddle since 2012 as the Chief Executive of the institution, the Pro-Chancellor and the Chairman of the Governing Council of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ago-Iwoye, Ogun State, Dr. Segun Oshin, gave the perspective of the institution as regards how to successfully bring to fruition the lofty and thoughtful initiative of the Awujale to endow a professorial chair on governance in the political science department of the university, which they regard as further testimony of the Awujale's love for education, good governance, and betterment of the country.
The chair is to research into the Nigerian situation and involve purposeful intervention policies that will allow the Nigerian governing class to learn and conduct governance with honesty, equity, and fair play. African perspective and integrating modern governance into every aspect of Nigerian livelihood. Hence, the occupant of the chair is to be selected periodically.
The Sikiru Adetona Professorial Chair in Governance, being inaugurated 26 years after the last in 1990, attests to our commitment to bringing the university to a high level of confidence by the society. The radical reforms and policies of Council, which identifies with a sustainable mission of turning disruption to opportunities by the mentality we hold and the structures we put in place, has contributed positively to the transformation we are all witnessing today.
In the inaugural lecture delivered by Professor Akin Mabugunje, CON, the renowned professor of geography, who has served in many public sector positions in Nigeria and chairman of the Lagos Megacity Development Authority, he posited that the high cost of the presidential system of government, which Nigeria adopted on her return to democracy in 1999, as against the parliamentary system which it operated before, and the mismanagement of the oil resources accumulated over the years during the oil boom days by successive administrations, is a major source of the economic problems besetting the country today. Professor Mabugunje frowned at the imprudent management of resources by those in position of authority as bold pointers to bad governance, which has adversely affected all levels of governance in the country. All these countercultures have become a fertile breeding ground for the cankerworm of corruption, which has eaten very deep into the fabric of the Nigerian society.
Because of the windfall from oil revenue and its own operational structure of a unified command, the military regime transformed the country away from its federal and democratic trajectory of development to where we are today. Secondly, that since the end of the military regime, it is regrettable that our political leaders and various professional groups, particularly the Nigerian Bar Association, have failed the nation in not legally challenging some of the non-democratic distortions to our governance system, especially at the local level. And the third is that unless we seriously revisit these distortions and rectify them appropriately, the nation will continue to be hostage to a dysfunctional and disempowering governance system in this country.
Also contributing to the discussion, which was moderated by veteran journalist Ray Egbu, OON, the former governor of the CBN, now the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, also echoed the views of Professor Mabugunje that the presidential system of government is very expensive and unsustainable. He advocated a stringent cutting down of the number of political offices and appointees so as to reduce to a bearable level the high cost of maintaining the offices, as money saved from such exercise could be used for other people-oriented and developmental purposes.
You sometimes wonder if anyone needs to tell any group of people that if you're a poor country, you do not need 36 governors, 36 deputy governors, each with 30 members of the House of Assembly, each with commissioners, each with advisors, each with special assistants, a president, a vice president, 36 ministers, special advisors, a bicameral federal legislature, and so on and so on.
On his own part, former governor of Ogun State, Chief Olusegun Oshoba, picked holes in what he saw as the fraudulent manner in which some people are elected into office, which he described as a mockery of Nigeria's hard-earned democracy. He advised the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to take a second look at the operations of the card reader to perfect its use in future elections. Former Governor Olusegun Oshoba charged public office holders, especially governors, to endeavor to use the resources allocated to them to better the lot of those who voted them into office to justify the confidence and trust reposed in them.
When governors are elected fraudulently, when local government elections are held and the votes of people don't count, then you get awoof leaders. And that's where the problem starts from. And His Royal Highness Sikiru has said it. What is the pedigree of those that we elect to be our leaders? What have they done of their life? What have they managed? These are part of the problem that we have in governance.
In his contribution, the convener of the forum, the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Adetona, CFR, said the issue of governance of the country has been of great concern to him for many years, having been in the saddle for as long as Nigeria's independence, which offers him the rare privilege to make comparisons between what was obtained during the pre-independence era and now.
Politics became petty, dirty, and corrupt. The economy was in shambles, coupled with a decaying infrastructure and the steady decline in the quality of education, among others, while the private sector became a mere onlooker, having been frustrated by we stimulate help the next generation, lead this country out of its seemingly intractable problems.
The Awujale also blamed greed, triggered by those who had unfettered access to the government treasury, as the main cause of underdevelopment, which is the major byproduct of bad governance in Nigeria over the years. The Awujale, Oba Sikiru Adetona, said he decided as a patriotic Nigerian to make a last-ditch intervention to salvage the situation with the endowment of the 250 million naira professorial chair on good governance in political science department of Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ago-Iwoye. The Awujale hopes that the chair he is endowing at OOU on good governance will encourage the youth to synergize thoughts with the older generation on new areas that will bring about good governance to take Nigeria out of the problem besetting us over the years.
It is therefore my belief that for a lasting solution to To these teeming problems, the youth must actively participate and be positively engaged in bringing about good governance, starting now.
The pre-launch address of the endowment was delivered by Mrs. Ago-Iwoye, Chairman, First Bank of Nigeria PLC, also an illustrious daughter of Ijebuland.
For the greatness of a nation, you need governance at every level to work in a particular way. Political governance is only one part of it. There's economic governance, which goes to the private sector, and every level of participation that is involved in the management of the resources of our nation.
The launch of the 250 million naira endowment and fundraising for the Professorial Chair on Good Governance, which was the idea of the Awujale, attracted very enthusiastic participation by notable personalities from all sectors of life: the academia, the traditional institution, the private, public and business sectors, as well as the political class. At the end of the day, over 400 million naira was raised, with a lot of pledges outstanding. The address of the visitor of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ago-Iwoye, Governor Ibikunle Amosun of Ogun State, was delivered by his deputy, Chief Mrs. Yetunde Onanuga, who also eulogized the initiator, the Awujale, for the great stride which ties in with one of the 5 cardinal programs of the Amosun administration to rebuild Ogun State. Governor Ibikunle Amosun pledged the assistance of Ogun State government for the successful completion of the project, just as he thanked all those who contributed in cash and kind to the project.
On one hand, this professorial chair in governance would no doubt impact positively on the academic, research, and other knowledge-driven activities of the university. On another hand, it will continue to consolidate the position of the university amongst its peers in Nigeria and beyond the shores of our land.
The vote of thanks was given by Honorable Justice George Adeshola Oguntade, CFR, Chairman of the Organizing Committee of the event, who was surrounded by all the members. The endowment of the Professorial Chair to promote good governance, virtues and ideals at the Political Science Department of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ago-Iwoye, is a worthy and remarkable step in the continued contribution of the Awujale to the socio-economic, political and educational development of Nigeria.